What's up, guys? It's Showtime's Fight Forum. You already know what it is. It's your boy Showtime. Follow me on all social medias at Showtime Sanders. And guess what? We talk all things fights here, okay? Today, we're gonna do my top 5 defensive stars in boxing. All right, so look, this is going to be a 80-year process. Once again, I cannot go back in time where dudes didn't even have highlights. When I say the best in the past 80 years, this is guys that we actually have film of, guys that we've seen, okay? Now, there's gonna be a lot of people I miss on this. We're talking about 80 years. There's so many phenomenal boxers that existed that, of course, there's gonna be some top fighters. I'm only doing 5. So this is my list, obviously, not yours. Respect it. And we're gonna miss some guys that probably deserve to have some mention. And I'm gonna bring some of these guys up now just to say, like, you know, these guys, while they're not on my list, I do think that they're phenomenal defensive stars. These guys utilize head movement, great footwork, hard to hit. I mean, and also let me clarify too. With this list, it goes off of footwork, counter striking. This goes off of chin. Okay, I don't care how good your defense is. If you get punched and you go to sleep, it's not good defense, bro. I'm sorry, but you can't even take a punch. So that matters as well. Ring generalship, fight IQ, all that things. Like, know when to be defensive, when to be offensive. All these things are gonna play into this role of who I'm picking. Now, I wanna give some honorable mentions. So I wanna say people like Andre Ward. I wanna give shout outs to, also listen, a guy that slept on as far as their defensive skills a lot. This is gonna be Roy Jones. Now listen, I'm not saying he deserves to be in the top 10 or anything like that, but I will say he is the one and only boxer to not get hit in a single round. That needs to be respected. So, you know, in order to not get hit in 3 whole minutes, that's crazy for a CompuBox. Like, that's ridiculous. He did that. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get to the nitty gritty of some of the guys that I do believe, well, I think are the 5 best defensive boxers of all time. Now, with number 5, some people might be upset. By the way, you might be upset with my list. I respect it, I get it, but it is what it is. Now, my number 5 is gonna be Willie Pep. Okay, he could be higher, but at the end of the day, he has the most knockout losses within this group. So that kind of made me put him a little step lower. But let's just say one, he's an innovator. The guy was phenomenal. He was a phenomenal boxer, period. But he was king of get hit and not getting hit. He also was a masterful footwork guy. Like, feet, crazy. You still have guys to this day that try to mimic that. Like, I'll even go on the MMA side, like a Dominic Cruz. Watch Willie Pep, watch Dominic Cruz. You can see that there's a heavy influence. Even people like Muhammad Ali, you could say, develop a lot of the skill from a Willie Pep. Like I said, the only reason why I have him at 5 is because he did get, I think, TKO, 10 times? But I will give that a rest just because he's fought like 200 fights. Like, that's a lot of damn fights, bro. So I'm sorry, but yeah. So, but once again, another thing is he's a great at counterattacking. He switched stances. He likes to attack off of your bad mistakes. He makes you pay. Like I said, I love the switch stance. He gets out in and out of spaces. He's real light on his feet. I mean, what more can you say about a Willie Pep, man? Like, we're talking about, and this guy fought like 100 years ago. But phenomenal boxer, man. And if you haven't seen any film, you need to watch him. Masterful. You could learn a lot from this guy. And boxing is one of the few sports where you can go back 100 years and you could still really, really learn from the greats. Like, and the reason why I'm saying this is because, like, 100 years ago, you're not really gonna, like, no football player is really gonna study a guy from 100 years ago. Basketball, you're not gonna study a guy from 100 years ago, like legitimately, unless you're like Magic or Bird. And even though that wasn't 100 years ago, it was like 50 years ago. Those are like the only guys you'll really genuinely study. But in boxing, nah, man, you study those greats, bro. You study the people in the 1930s and 1940s. These guys still have stuff that you can genuinely learn from. So yeah, that's my 5. 4 is gonna be who a lot of people perceive as the greatest of all time, and that is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali had a granite chin. Like, legit, the fight of guys that he fought and to never get knocked out, the only person that technically knocked him out, and it really wasn't a knockout, he retired in the corner, which was Larry Holmes. I mean, bro, he fought killers. George Foreman, like, legit. Once again, that's the Mike Tyson before Mike Tyson. Like the guy fought some of the heaviest punchers ever. None of them knocked him out. They knocked him down, never knocked him out. But once again, we can talk about Muhammad Ali. We know what it is, man. Head movement, crazy. Like, what is it? Was it Joe Frazier? The one where it was like 10 seconds of him throwing nothing but haymakers, and you just see Muhammad Ali in the corner just, you thought you had me. You thought you had me. Like, it, for a heavyweight to have that much skill was unseen. Hence why everybody called him the greatest. And footwork, light on his feet, crazy footwork. I mean, we all know about the Ali shuffle, but in between that, like, the guy was a volume puncher who also packed power, but it's the angles that he took, the footwork, the way that he can get in and out of spaces. Oh, oop, I'm out. Then let's hit you with a 1-2. Like, it was unfair, which is why he was able to run in the heavyweight kingdom for as long as he did. But you know, I have to put him high. He's high. He's the greatest defensive heavyweight I've ever seen. It's not that close in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, Muhammad Ali, number 4. Number 3. Some people are gonna be upset. Some people are gonna probably think that he should be a little bit higher, and that is gonna be Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker is, in my opinion, a top 20 boxer of all time. I think that skill for skill, he matches up with anybody. He's an absolute beast. I mean, rest in peace also Sweet Pea, of course. But I mean, I feel like we really wouldn't get a Floyd Mayweather without a Sweet Pea. Like, I feel like he is like the catalyst of what we eventually found in Floyd. Athletically gifted like none other. Head movement is ridiculous. You're lucky to land a clean shot on this guy. I mean, a good counter striker. He only got TKO'd one time, and that was his last fight ever. In his prime, you weren't touching this man. Genuinely, you weren't touching him. His defense was just that good. Pound for pound was one of the pound for pound champion in his prime, and it was basically off of defense. Once again, he was Floyd before Floyd came out. So I mean, we got to put respect on that. If you don't know Sweet Pea, please, man, look up Sweet Pea. I mean, footwork ridiculous, but it's the athletically giftedness that he had. Like, bro, head movement is crazy. You're not punching him. Now, number two. Now, some people might think I put him a little high, but I don't really care. It's gonna be James Toney. James Toney, I mean, bro, he fought super middleweight all the way up to heavyweight, and guess what? He's never been knocked out. He has like 70 fights. He's never been knocked out. Let's keep it a stack, bro. Like, that's extremely impressive. Like, how you're a middleweight and you bump all the way to heavyweight, and he had a career at heavyweight. It's not like he's not like a Roy, where Roy fought once or twice at heavyweight. No, this man fought at heavyweight for a good portion, cruiserweight for a good portion. Fought some killers. Fought Evander Holyfield at heavyweight. Dominated. And this is a testament because he was so defensively sound. His rolls are ridiculous. He rolls off of shots. You don't get a clear shot of him. You punched him, sure. He'll let you punch him. But you're never going to get a clean shot. Hence why he never got knocked out. It's hard to knock a person out when he's rolling through. Oh, you hit me, but I'm rolling with it. Who cares? And he's fought some killers. Once again, Roy Jones, when Roy Jones in his prime, like Roy, didn't get knocked out. He got hurt a couple times. Didn't get knocked out. Didn't get knocked down. So we know he has a granite chin. I love his head movement. Doesn't matter what. You don't know what he's gonna do. He'll style on you while being defensive. Once again, left, right. Where I'm going? Where I'm going? Oh, left. I'll go left again. Like, it is so impressive for the longevity of his career and bumping up so many different weight classes. Even though this man was fat, this man couldn't be hit. So yeah, easily, in my opinion, he's number 2. You can learn so much from his style, and he's athletic. But I don't think he's like Roy Jones. Well, I know he's not like Roy Jones or like Floyd, who are some of the most athletically gifted athletes we've seen. Like, he's athletic, sure, but when he was fat, bro, he's still so technically sound, which is why he's so high on my list. There's only one way you're gonna be able to survive in this business if you're that late in your career, and that's being technically sound. And James Toney was able to do that. Fight in, fight out of shape, in shape. You weren't hitting this man. So, like I said, number 2, James Toney. Now, number 1 is probably the easiest answer, and that's gonna be Floyd Mayweather. Simple and plain, he's never lost. The guy, while he ate clean shots, and this is, and what made me have more respect for Floyd is probably the Shane Mosley fight. That was the first time we've ever seen Floyd like genuinely hurt, in pain. I'm not pain, but genuinely hurt, genuinely rocked. Legs were weak, and it was like, oh wow, how is he gonna respond? Because we went through most of his career without him being landed on really clean. Like, he's gotten beaten up. Like, Castillo beat him up. Madonna has beaten him up. We never seen nobody like rock him. And what did he do? He came back even stronger. Like, and then he didn't let you do it again. I will say Floyd is probably the smartest boxer we've ever seen. He's definitely the smartest of this generation, outside the ring and inside the ring. His adjustments are bar none. His fight IQ is high. James Toney's also another guy who has an extremely high fight IQ. But Floyd is a level above himself. You will never see that again, in my opinion. In your lifetime, I don't think you're gonna see a fighter as smart that can develop and adjust within a fight. You hit him with a clean shot, you're never hitting him with that again. You're just not. He's gonna learn. He is a computer. Like, people wanna make fun of how this man can read. He might not be the best reader, but the man can read some punches. You throw some punches away, he knows where to go. He knows what to do afterwards. I mean, and then when he started to become more of a pot shotter, the older he got, you start to see that his pull twos were just phenomenal. That was his power punch. He would hurt people all the time with it. Like, he would only throw 1 or 2 punches, and it would land consistently. Why? Because he would just counter you. So his counter punches were phenomenal. Head movement, we already know. The Philly shell, you're not, like, try to do a Philly shell, bro. He makes it look easy. Try to fight a person that actually knows how to box. Use a Philly shell. See how easy it is for him to pick you apart. See how hard you will get punched in your body and your head trying to do a Philly shell. It ain't easy. He mastered it. Like, there's so many levels to Floyd's game that makes him just the most defensively responsible fighter, the most intelligent boxer that we've seen. And like I said, I don't think Floyd's the GOAT. I'm not even one of the people that put him on that type of pedestal. However, you can't deny excellence. You can obviously watch. And the hilarious thing too is that in the beginning of his career, he wasn't really known for his defensive prowess because he would just get people out the way. He was offensive. But the older he got, not to say he didn't have it, he always had it, but he didn't need to. He just get people out the way. But then he started to bump up in weight. He couldn't get these guys out the way. He was like, all right, well, now I'm just gonna chill. And obviously ran the game ever since. It's something that's really something to marvel about. I mean, people aren't the biggest fan of it. I was a fan of it. I loved it. I thought it was interesting because it was different. I mean, you love the Mike Tysons, but you can also love a Floyd. And it's something that you just have to cherish because you're not going to see too much of that again. We might see what Shakur can do, but he has a long way to go to even be considered amongst the defensive prowess of a Floyd or a James Toney. But that is my list, man. That is what it is. It's, once again, you got 5, got Willie Pep, 4 Muhammad Ali, 3 Willie Pep, I said Willie Pep, Pernell Whitaker, 2 James Toney, and then 1 TBE for him, Floyd Mayweather. I want to hear what you guys list. Who did I miss? Because I'm sure I missed somebody that you guys are going to be really angry about. But I want to hear because at the end of the day, I like to think that I'm a boxing educated fan, but I don't know everything. So please let me know. Follow me on all social medias at Showtime Sanders. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Make sure y'all be blessed.